We do extensive emergency response training with all of our staff. It's not just fire drills. It is full-blown emergency response. We have a campus-wide plan. There are critical positions that are staffed. We train to those positions from, if you're familiar with language, from incident commander to deputy incident commanders. We have people that are set for search and rescue. We have assembly, student assembly branch. We have first aid, morgue branch. We have even food and shelter. We are getting ourselves ready that in the worst case scenario, we could care for your children for 3 days if we had to. That's how seriously we take it. It's not just a fire drill for us. Our reunification place is Authentic Life Church. So if there was an event on our campus where we had to leave this, we have a plan in place where every child here would be relocated to Authentic Life Church. We have an assembly plan within their sanctuary, and you would meet us over there and get your child from us there. We train to these things annually. I have a training scheduled next week because some of the ladies that are in our student release branch are going, I don't feel very confident in what I've got to do. So we're going to train. That came out of what happened yesterday at Evergreen High School for us. If you want to see this plan, you're welcome to it. I can share it with you. It's a very boring, lengthy document, but it does give a description of every responsibility, who's assigned to what role, yeah. We have, in terms of security, we've got, I don't know what we're up to now. We're at least 50 cameras throughout our campus, both on the outside and inside of campus. We can monitor them both internally, we can monitor them digitally on our phones, remotely. We can grant access to any of the law enforcement agencies that would come, and they can access our camera footage live at any given time. We installed electronic lock system. Half the time it's irritating, half the time it's a blessing, but it is everywhere. So there isn't an external door that is used for egress or entrance that does not have an electronic lock that we can control. And they're on a schedule, but we can also arm or disarm them all in one fell swoop. We have a campus-wide intercom system now. There was a point up until last year, we couldn't communicate with everything on campus. The intercom system for the elementary school was segregated from everything else on campus. Junior, senior high had their own system. ECE didn't have a system. If you were working in the Genesis Center or anywhere else, we gave you a radio because we didn't have an intercom system. We upgraded all of that this summer. So every space that's occupied by Front Range Christian School on this campus is all connected through the same intercom system. So we can, in one button, communicate to every room, every space on this campus. We can do that from the front desk, or we can do it remotely. We can do it from our cell phones if we need to. And it has also got a two-way communication feature for each of those pods in all of those areas. Behind you on the wall up there, that circular speaker is one of the pieces of that system. And you'll see those throughout campus all over the place. We have installed Byrnas throughout our campus. You're gonna hate me for this, buddy, but I'm leaving the camera right now. So, and there's an awkward moment where he wasn't even on the camera. And even worse, he doesn't know where the safe is. No, I got one out here.
Oh, thank you.
Stand by.
Collector. Sure.
We started this, I believe it was 3 years ago. These are Byrnas. They are non-lethal self-defense CO2 launching. I don't even want to call it a gun. It's not really a gun. But it takes a clip like this of balls. We have them loaded with pepper spray, tear gas, and also some kinetic rounds, which are just hard, like plastic balls. It uses CO2 cartridge. It shoots up to about 60 feet. It won't kill someone, but it'll stop them in their tracks. Especially the pepper ball, you just have to get it close. It hits, explodes, and puts out a cloud of pepper balls or tear gas spray. We have them throughout our campus. We have there's biometric safes, that's what was around the corner out there that I went to, that they're kept in under lock. You can get in them with your thumbprint, and then there is a code that we have for everyone on campus. We have decided to go with those for anyone that is a student-facing person on our campus. No teacher on our campus carries lethal force. We've done that on purpose. One, because there's very few teachers that you actually want carrying a lethal weapon on your campus, okay? I love Kim Hammonds. She is a fantastic chemistry teacher. I don't want her in a tactical situation making last-second decisions with a lethal weapon in her hand. The good news about the Byrna, we do a training. So every teacher that has one of these located in the classroom has gone through a training with us and an annual recertification. We take them down into our baseball training center. We set up targets. We put them at 60 feet. We teach them how to operate this thing, and they fire at the target. We don't use the tear gas ones. We just use the hard balls at that point in time. It'd be very unfortunate training if we did it the other way. If a teacher is uncomfortable, we don't make them do it. They have to be okay with it. What they've been told over and over and over again is you have one job in any kind of emergency. There's an explosion, there's a fire, a tornado hits our school, there's a freight train that's whatever. There's semi-truck that runs through our school, there is an active shooter. You have one job, and that is to get you and your kids to safety. Your first job is run and get out of here and get to safety and head to our reunification site. If you can't do that, you're gonna hide in your classroom, find somewhere out of sight, lock the doors, turn off the lights, and get everyone quiet. And if it's terrible, if the unthinkable happens, you fight with everything inside of you. Before we issued Byrnas, they threw textbooks. Literally, that was the instructions. Throw books, throw a chair, grab a fire extinguisher, do something. Well, now they at least have this, where if that happens, they can just unload. And the good news is they don't need to worry. If it's me that opens the door, I'm gonna have a really bad day. But they're gonna be able to apologize and say, Coop, I'm so sorry, you're snotting all over yourself, but you're gonna be okay. We did that too because if they can get out of their classroom, at least now they have something if they run into trouble. Something that has got some more bite to it than hand-to-hand combat. Those are all over the place on our campus. I'm not sure how many of those we've issued at this point in time, but you'd be hard-pressed to be more than about 20 feet from a biometric safe that has a Byrna available for people. Very strategic on my part, at least a decision on my part. I will not put lethal force in the hands of a student-facing employee. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. We do have a Select Guardian program. There are a few of us on campus that do carry lethal force. This program is incredibly selective and demanding in the training. Everyone that we have allowed to do that has to have their concealed carry permit. They have to pass the police officer standards and training range test. They also have to pass the NRA pistol qualification once a month. So annually they do the post test with me with an NRA instructor that puts us through the paces on a private range. That gets passed, and then annually or monthly they have to recertify by passing the NRA pistol test. In addition to that, there are at least 2 of us that are in the Able Shepherd program. And I don't know if you're familiar, anyone familiar with Able Shepherd, that program? Okay, I'm Able Shepherd number 280. Able Shepherd is an extensive program that trains you how to respond within tactical situations. It's impressive, it's arduous, and I'm in continual training. I had a class last night. Even though I'm a certified able shepherd, you continue to take classes. There's one other individual that's in the program also, just past phase 1, going on to phase 2. The level of training, I encourage you to take a look at the Able Shepherd program online. You can get a feel for the level of training that I'm talking about. I've had many classes where they've trained us to do entries and clearing of rooms, like you see when you see a SWAT team going in. And I've been alongside police officers from almost every law enforcement agency in the greater Denver area. And I've asked them, why are you here? I'm assuming they get this training. And they said, we don't get anything to this level. And so they're taking it on their own to get a deeper level of training. None of those that are in the Select Guardian program are student-facing individuals. All of us are plainclothes. You'll never see us labeled as security. That's also a deliberate choice. There's lots of studies. I spent an inordinate amount of time evaluating when terrible things happen on campuses. And schools that have resource officers stationed in uniform on their campus it's the most minimal deterrent when evil wants to strike. Because while they're a gifted, trained individual, they are a single individual, and they are labeled with a uniform, and they're easy to locate and easier to avoid. So to get around from that, we don't do that. But what you do see all over our campus are signs that say this place is protected by armed personnel. We want the message to be out there. This is not a soft target. If you come to this place, you will be met with swift and unwavering resistance. And I want them to know that. You need, I can't even talk about that. We do have a partnership with the Jefferson County Sheriff. The same resource officers that are assigned to Columbine High School are also assigned to us. One of them was on campus today. And they will often come through, sometimes get coffee, sometimes they just park in the parking lot, but they're in constant communication with us. So when you hear of an incident at another school, I almost guarantee you we heard about it first, and we're receiving direction from the Jefferson County Sheriff how we should respond as a school. If we haven't heard from them and we've heard it, we're going to reach out to them and say, should we do anything? If they tell us to lock down, we're locking down. Lock out, we locked out. Shut school down, we shut school down. Keep going as we are, we keep going as we are. So know that I'm not in my office going, yeah, we'll be cool. No, we're taking direction from the sheriff directly. You should know this, because of my connection with the Able Shepherd Network, I get intelligence briefings, I get information long before it hits a lot of other places. We knew about the Evergreen shooting about 2 minutes after it happened. It hadn't even hit the news cycle yet. And we were receiving texts and updates. So realize that we don't operate just in a bubble with those things. We keep our ear to the ground and are pretty intent with it. The next step for us is security film on our entry area windows. I had a company come out this summer to give me a bid, and when I say security film in the entry windows, so if you look at the entry to Holy Grounds here, there's a door with a window above it and the two on either side. Anywhere that exists on our campus, that type of setup, we want to put security film on those windows. What security film does, it is not bulletproof. The only way to get bulletproof is we'd have to remove those windows and put in a different material in there, and that would be incredibly costly. But what the security film will do, it's very thick plastic, almost like a window tinting, but it's like the thickness of a credit card or more. And it then gets fastened to the window frame itself. And what it prevents is the ability to break that window out. If you guys remember the shooting that happened in Tennessee at that Christian school, that shooter came to that campus, and the first thing they did was they shot out the windows, right? The doors, the glass doors, and stepped through, right? That would prevent that from happening. You could break them out, but they say it would take you 15 minutes of swinging an axe at that thing to finally get it to collapse. All you need to buy is a couple minutes to prevent access. When I was talking with the company, they said if you can do the entryways, that's what you need to do, because people aren't going to come up. Someone who's thinking they're going to do evil isn't going to come up and go, well, that window's not breaking. Maybe I'll go down here to this window and keep trying windows. That's not what ends up happening. They just end up moving on and getting out of there. So we want to do that next project. That's about a $40,000 project that I don't have funds for right now. So if you're interested in helping with that, I'd love to hear from you. I'm looking for ways to pull from other areas to get this project underway. But like I said, it doesn't make it bulletproof, but just hardens the target a little bit farther for us. So it is the next most logical step for us to take. I am incredibly passionate about this. My wife, when I looked into doing the Able Shepherd, she said, yeah, you better do that because you're going to run towards it anyhow. So you might as well get trained and be as well equipped as you can. And she's right. She's right. And my life has been weird. I've never been a lifeguard, and yet I've saved 3 people from drowning. I've never been a first responder, and yet I've been the first one on a scene 3 times. Gentlemen, they got hit head on with a diesel truck, a couple that got high centered on the middle of train tracks, going down the train tracks in the middle of the night. And the husband was having a medical emergency. And my third one was a young man who played football for me. As I was in the turn lane to go to the school I was working at the time, I was a young teacher. He was going to school on a moped and got hit by a car in the middle of the intersection. And it was horrific. It was terrible. And I was the first one there, got to him. He saw me, Coach Cooper, and he said, am I okay? He tried to sit up, but I just put my hand on his chest and held him down and tried to stop bleeding. I don't know why I keep getting thrown in these situations. And there's more. There's more. I could tell you lots of stories and don't know why I end up there. But what I can tell you is my response each time is to move into it. Every time. If something happens on this campus, I'm not alone in this. But I have made a pledge. I will put myself between your child and the greatest threat. Every time without fail. My wife knows it and she hates that piece. But it is part of my calling in being in this school. I have 4 other men that have made that same pledge to you. We will put ourselves between your child and the greatest threat every single time. Every teacher on this campus has made the pledge that they will move with speed to get your kids to safety. We have trained for that relentlessly. Hear me, I'm resolved. I'm mad at what happened yesterday. Charlie Kirk is horrific, but another shooting on a school is tragic. We're doing everything we can so that type of thing that happened at Evergreen High School cannot happen here. Oftentimes in school, the shooters come from within, not from without. Right? The ones that have attacked Christian schools have come from outside. Oftentimes the shooters are students at a school. You can try and do all sorts of things. You could put up metal detectors and everyone have clear backpacks, or we could do searches when everyone comes in the building and try to prevent all of that from happening. Schools that have shootings do all those things too. The greatest weapon you have from stopping it from happening from within your school is relationship. It's us being committed to knowing your child. And we put in a ton of structures to do that. And we don't just put in structures, we actually monitor it. Especially on the secondary end, we have them take a survey every year. asking them, who are you connected with? Who would you like to be connected with? If there's someone you needed to talk to, who would that be? We captured all in a spreadsheet. And if there's a kid that doesn't list anybody, we've had kids that have said, I don't want to know anybody. And we say, well, too bad. And someone's going to raise their hand and someone's going to make connection with that kid. It is the greatest defense from that scenario. Highly, highly unlikely on our campus, but that is our greatest defense for that. If you have more questions about our safety steps and procedures and what we do, I'm more than happy to share with you and go through the plans in detail. If that would help you, more than happy to do that, or take questions now if you have them. But what I want you to hear from me, while I trust the fact that I'm a precious possession of the God whom I serve, I'm preparing, because evil needs to be faced. And we're ready. I believe we're ready. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Should like back to stay in that classroom square to the on back.
Bombs. No. Yeah. I'm making, that's really a sick joke. What? Unbelievable. Keep me in line. You're in the front row and you're my assistant. Help me here. The question was, what's in the black backpacks in the classrooms? You will see them around campus. They have a tag on them that says emergency on there. Inside those backpacks it's a trauma kit. So it has gauze, it has chest seals, and some other things. It's got a tourniquet or more than one tourniquet in there. All the teachers have been trained in how to apply a tourniquet, both for juveniles and adults. We have a CAT combat style tourniquets that we teach them how to use. They actually have to put them on each other. If you've ever put a tourniquet on, it's brutal. Whenever you see the superhero movie or the action movie where the guy puts a tourniquet on his leg and then runs back into battle, BS. You can't even move that particular appendage cannot be moved in. It hurts like crazy. So I make them put them on themselves and on each other. So it has tourniquets, it's got a trauma kit, it has a flashlight in there, it has their class rosters for that class. It also has a notebook that has a quick reference. So you can flip through it to go, what is our emergency? What am I supposed to do? It's a color-coded flow chart for them. Some of the backpacks have burners in them. So when you see a teacher standing out on the drop-off or pickup or out at recess or on the other side also in supervision, and they're either carrying a backpack or you'll see a sling pack, they're carrying a burner also. So we're all of those. Does that answer that question? Okay, yeah. Anything else?
Strike on.
All right.
Most in the security Lancaster situation, how would the kids, would they talk to you about that if they don't know about it?
I don't know what happened in terms of conversations. I know there was more conversation on the junior senior high end about it. It came up organically. I'm not sure what happened on this end. We didn't do an assembly or anything along those lines. So it would have happened individually with kids, for sure. Yeah.
Ask us if you're so many times with
Mm-hmm.
friend.
Yeah.
Ask to like get and time. Oh, this really what's Atlas on you.
Yeah, so I said earlier, we share 2 resource officers with Columbine High School. So those guys are there, will frequent our campus also, but we don't have one stationed here full time. We do have some police officers that are part of our community, and they will often do their paperwork in our parking lot. We've told them, you're welcome anytime. You know, they were afraid, I don't want to alarm anybody. We're going, yes, please. Park, and put the lights on for all we care. And so they will do that for us. And if we have events, they will come and park out there. We'll take the presents. I've told them all, free coffee, come get it on us. And they're pretty faithful in doing that. So yeah.
So we get notifications, emails, and stuff like that from school team, because
Yeah.
So should we assume that the default was to not one year because we have to draw our time account to status.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, wow, this is this is a total do what I say, not what I would do, right? Because I'll tell you right now, dads, if I were you and my child was on this campus and something was happening, brother, you'd be hard pressed to keep me out of here. I'd be showing up in full tactical gear. I would be slung and ready. And let's go, because my kids are coming home, right? Please don't do that. And that's coming from a dad that would be going, let's go, right? We have a plan in place, and we are going to respond, I think, fairly well. Those of us that are carrying lethal force are ready to respond as a trained unit.
Make sure you read that and to go back to that. And
What Kelly just said is that tomorrow's Times has information about how we'll be communicating. So be sure you read the Times. It'd be really good if you do that. Okay, can I move on or more questions? If you have anything else, anything you're holding on to, or anything comes up, talk to me. Talk to me here or outside. You'll see me standing out there often at drop off and pickup out here. I may not look like I care that you're there, and I'm not engaging you because that's not why I'm out there. I'm not out there to engage you. I'm out there and I'm looking for what's coming. That is why I stand out there. You can come talk to me, but I may look past you as you're talking to me because that's not why I'm there. And I will tell you, I work security at my church often, most Sundays. I preached last week or the week before. People in my church were freaked out because a lot of them only saw me as the security guy. And when I'm the security guy, I'm in a different headspace. I got to be in a place where I'm ready to put myself between you and the greatest threat. And that I have to go to a different place. And that's not the party coop. It's a different version. So it's not the party. But anyhow, all right. Coming soon. Totally shifting gears. Woo. We're painting the campus. Yeah, we're gonna refresh the blue and the brown. No, we're not doing that. We are going. It doesn't look like it, but this is purple, and the rendering's terrible. But we are everything that's blue will be purple, and the building will be 2 different shades of gray. So it'll be back in school colors. This is a overdue kind of maintenance item. We have to get it done. Our paint is failing in all sorts of places. We're taking the opportunity to actually make it look like it's Front Range Christian campus. So Falcon purple everywhere. Yeah. That will start next week. So why am I telling you guys? Because we have no idea what the impact is going to be in terms of pick up, drop off, where you can park. So be really patient. And if you see a cone, go a different direction. That's really all I can tell you. Unless you like purple splattering on your Tesla, that'd be great. But there'll be a lot of prep work at first, so you may not see paint going on, and then paint will start. They're going to be painting during school hours, so just be prepared to be patient and park upwind, not downwind. It would be my recommendation. So we're excited. This is super overdue, and we've been taking bids for a while, and finally they're going to start this project hopefully on Monday. That's the plan. So, all right. Wow. Yeah, we'll make it by 7:30. All right, community survey. Every year we send out a survey to you guys at the end of the year, and we ask for your feedback on how we're doing and how we're not doing. In the past, this is how we've always done it. I have a campus leadership summit at the beginning of June every year. We go off site for 3 days. One of our major projects is we take all of those survey results, we digest them all, not just the scores, but every comment. From that, we figure out what are the major themes, right? What are the things that are recurring? And then we take that and we make action plans, right? And then we pursue those action plans throughout the year to try to mitigate or solve some of those things or bring in new programs to meet some of the needs that people have said. Those are the major things. There's a lot of other things that are said in there in that survey that don't make it onto our action plans, but we are still looking at. We're still trying to take some action with. But it may not be everybody that said it, maybe one family, right? And we've done that every year for the last 14 years, okay? The problem was those action plans were standalones. They were detached from other action plans and efforts that we've been doing on campus. This year we changed things up a little bit. So our process this year is still taking it on at that leadership gathering in June. We do the same process of finding those themes, but now what we've done is each of those components, those themes, are attached to either a program or division at our school. And we've nested those things within the existing action plans that are happening on that campus or within that program. So now there's more direct oversight for the achievement of those things. So we feel like we're going to get better progress. Additionally, many of you may have already received a phone call, had a face-to-face meeting, or had an email exchange with someone because you wrote a comment and you gave us your name. Anybody in here? I got one, two, a couple. If you made a comment on our survey, we divided them all up and gave them to people who have responsibility for the areas you may have made a comment on. If your name was on there, they are supposed to be following up with you. Now, many have already happened. I know on the secondary end, it's probably going to be happening significantly this week, this coming week and beyond, because they took them and divided them up into different directors, and they're going to be reaching out, having face-to-face meetings, dialogues, phone calls, whatever it is. Part of it is we wanted you to know, we saw what you wrote, we heard you, and now we want to hear more, right? So please respond to those things as they reach out to you, so that we can follow up. So look for those things. Focus points from this year. Now remember, focus points might not have on there what you said, because you were really upset about the parking lot and the potholes, but you were the only one that said anything about it, okay? So we went, well, that's a problem, we know it, but we're not gonna make an action plan around potholes, right? Whatever it happens to be. Like maybe you hate the Lunchables, I don't know. But our focus points came in three major areas. Junior, senior high academics, and there's a number of things nested under here I'll talk about in a second. That's the general category that we focused on. Teacher retention, there was some concern about what are we doing to recruit and hold on to good teachers. I think some of it was sparked because we had a number of teachers leave this year from the elementary side of campus. Huge anomaly for us. Just to dispel the rumor, our retention percentage over the years is about 90% retention rate for our teachers. 90%. The vast majority of our teachers stay forever at Front Range Christian School. The problem is pregnancy. Man! When I saw that, retention's gonna go through the roof. The biggest reason that we have teachers leave is they decide they're gonna be a mom. And it is beautiful and wonderful and awful for us, right? The other reason is relocation. Especially at the elementary end, the vast majority of our teachers are secondary income. And so the breadwinner of the family gets transferred or reassigned or whatever it is, and so they're leaving the state. And then we have a handful that just get called into ministry elsewhere, right? Most likely not in Christian education, they're whatever it happens to be. So, I mean, we had a teacher last year left to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And it was a cool story of how they felt called to Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've never known anyone in my life that was called to Fort Wayne, Indiana. But we lost a teacher for it, but they're thriving. And it's so cool if you ever hear the story of how they felt that and then how it was orchestrated. You just look at that and go, thanks God, you took a teacher. But it was definitely, his hand was in it. So, academics. A big piece of it was we needed to meet the needs of our more gifted junior high kids. And what are the options for them? So we took a model that was working, and we took a team of teachers from the junior senior high, and we brought Susie Eitzen in, and we picked her brain. We said, what do you think would work? Let's design something different than what Explore looks like at the elementary school, but that will work for junior high. And so we think we got some great information from Susie, who just got her master's degree, by the way, in teaching gifted students. And she had her hand in helping design that program at the junior high. We'll see how good it is. It's a beta test. Hopefully it's fantastic, but if it isn't, we're gonna fix it and keep going. But it should give teachers a chance to teach to their passion while allowing kids to dive deeper in a fun way in learning in areas that they're passionate about. We're also looking at adding potentially honors level courses at the junior high. So that's a hard thing to do. There's lots of reasons for that academically, especially at a smaller school, but we're looking at how can we create that track and potentially offer that going forward. That's not getting launched this year, but this did get launched this year. We're looking at adding concurrent enrollment. We have our AP program, which is wildly successful. We are committed to the AP program. I don't really like it. Honestly, as an educator, it's really not great. I mean, educationally, you give up control of the content of your class. It crams way too much in a short period of time. Everything about it is like, everything good about education that's not an AP. But for a kid that is gifted and needs to be challenged, it can be spectacular. So we've decided we're gonna do as great a job as we possibly can with the AP program. We had 100% of our kids pass the AP English exams this year. We had several courses, well, all of our AP classes had pass rates at or above the national average. And so the needle in our AP classes is moving in the right direction, and it's great. But we also want to offer concurrent enrollment courses. So we're looking at probably partnering with CCU in this and finding the right subject and teachers where we can launch it. We're hoping, don't hold me to this, but we're hoping to launch our first concurrent enrollment course second semester and then expand as we go on from there. So what that does, if you're not familiar with it, AP, you get a 5.8, which helps your GPA. You then take a test. If you pass that test, certain colleges will give you college credit for that class, or they'll accelerate you and allow you to skip a freshman level course, go to the next level course. Not all will accept it, but it is an incredibly important classes to have to get kids into the more restrictive colleges and universities. Concurrent enrollment, on the other hand, if it's with whatever university you're doing it with, you actually get college credit from that university and a transcript from that university.
Yeah.
Right now, in that secondary world, the concurrent enrollment credits are getting deeply scrutinized. And there is some concern about how widely accepted they're going to be moving forward. But for now, we're going to try it, but we're not going to do it by giving away our AP program. We're going to give both. Yeah.
Good.
With on our end.
Were we previously? Yes, we were. So we actually offered concurrent enrollment in a number of subjects. And then because of some of the pushback with concurrent enrollment, CCU and a number of other universities changed the requirements for teachers if they wanted to teach concurrent enrollment. It used to be that if you had a certain number of years experience teaching in a subject area, had a bachelor's degree at least in your subject area, and a master's degree in anything, you could be a concurrent enrollment teacher. They changed that rule and said you had to have a master's degree in your subject area. Very few teachers have a master's degree in their subject area outside of our Bible department, right? They've now gone back to the old regulations. So we have a lot of teachers that have master's degree. It's a pretty long list. So we have a lot of teachers that are qualified to teach concurrent enrollment now. We just have to figure out which ones are the best fit and what subjects we can do it in effectively. So it wasn't us that changed. They changed the rules. We lost out. Now they changed the rules back again. So we're going to jump back into the game. So, all right. Junior high Bible curriculum project. There's this is a deep one. There's a lot of concern about what we're teaching in our Bible classes. You guys in the elementary, you're all happy because we're using a Becca Bible or whatever we're using, right? And it's a pre-canned Bible and somebody else wrote it. We didn't do that on the other end. We went a different direction with our Bible curriculum. So what we're in the process of doing is putting all of our Bible curriculum online for you to be able to see. Every course articulation, every resource that we use, from a video to a book or an excerpt or an essay, all the links to those will be available. Lesson plans will be available. You can go on, go to 7th grade and see everything that's taught. And we're in process of that. We have most of 9th through 12th grade captured, because it takes a while to get everything formatted as we need to format it on. They've been working this month on 7th and 8th grade. The deadline I gave them was the end of this month to have 7th and 8th grade done. So now we will have all of that in place, and then we've got to get it somehow onto a digital platform that gives you access to it. Right now it all exists within Google Docs. I'm not sharing Google Docs with all of you guys. So we got to find another way that we can house it somewhere for you to be able to see. In addition to that, we're going to be doing a video project with each of our Bible teachers. And we are going to be putting them through, in essence, an interview process. And we're going to film it. And it'll be a Q&A with that teacher about their positions on all of the critical faith positions that we have. Those videos will also be housed in that same location. So if you have a question, if you're wondering, what does Mr. Spector think about this? You can go to his video and it'll be one of the questions that is answered within that video, so that you will be able to see everything we're doing and hear from the people that are teaching those classes. So we're in the throes of that project right now. I'm probably jumping the gun telling you about it because I don't even have all the materials yet. I'm hoping they hit their deadline, and then it'll be a process for us to get it where it needs to go and to get it complete. So, but look for that coming soon, and hopefully in a form that is very accessible to you guys going forward. We've done a number of things to try to quell some of those concerns. You should know too, in fact, you're welcome to sign one tonight if you'd like, but we changed our contract this year. So our contract references our statement of faith, and they have to sign, the initial on their contract. And we had call-outs outside of our contract for things like conflict of interest and things like that. We didn't have our statement of faith as a separate call-out. So we changed that this year. So every employee had to sign this separate from their contract. Their contract says they're acknowledging it. We added this to their contract as a separate statement. If you haven't looked at our expanded and changed statement of faith, this came out a few years ago. It's a pretty strong document. So everyone this year at our retreat had to sign this anew, except those that got a late contract because they had it in there. But everyone had to separately, from the acknowledgement that's in the contract, had to sign it outside of that. It's just more efforts we're trying to take to make sure that we are aligned with who we say we are. So, teacher retention recruitment. If you do the studies, it's interesting. Everyone wants to increase teacher salaries, right? Thinking that's going to retain teachers. Studies show that's like number 5 on the list to retain teachers. The greatest thing that helps with teacher retention is an effective onboarding and mentoring program. That's what makes the difference. That gets teachers from their first year through their 5th year. More teachers are lost in their first 5 years of teaching because of burnout. They have too many things on their plate and they're not well supported. We have created a robust mentoring program for faculty on this side of campus and on this side of campus, and it built into our schedule release time for them to get together and go through what essentially is a kind of a curriculum for them. It is a bit of this is how you do things the Front Range Christian way, and maybe beginning with here's the bathrooms and how you get staples for your stapler, and ending all the way into what is effective communication and instructional techniques. They have a mentor they're paired with, they meet regularly. There's a great handbook. Jessica Koch needs your praise for this. She's done a tremendous amount of work on this side with this. And Kelly Stidham on the other side is the teacher that's in charge of this program. And she is our instructional coach on that end and doing a fantastic job with it. This has been an investment over the last couple years for us We've done some extraordinary things. We've actually reduced the teaching load of new teachers for the first couple of years to try to ease them into it. So they have, on that end, they may have less number of classes. On this end, they may have less extra duties so that we can ease their burden and get their legs under them. And it's been incredibly successful for us. We don't lose teachers for burnout, right? They aren't going, man, this is too hard for me. That's very, very rare for us. Beyond that, the Partnering with CCU Teacher Student Program. So you probably have seen more student teachers on our campus in the last couple of years than ever before. That's a deliberate move on our part. Some of our very best hires have been teachers coming out of the CCU Teacher Preparation Program. They just do a great job. And so we've opened up our classrooms to bring their student teachers in so that we can get our hooks on them early. And it's working. We brainwash them, convince them to stay, and we hold on to them. It's actually you guys that do it for us. They fall in love with this place, and they want to be a part of the community. It is a beautiful thing. The other part is we then take it a little more seriously. If they're going to be our student teacher, we're not just coming in, yeah, we'll fill out your forms. We want to craft them into the teacher that we would want to hire. And so it gives us a chance to have an influence on who we might hire coming up next. And it's creating our pipeline, right? It's the minor leagues, and you've got to have it. Everybody wants to have, it's like in your mind, the perfect school would be a bunch of teachers that have 20 years of experience. That would be awful. It would be awful, right? You have to have a faculty that is a blend, all the way from people like me that are like too old, all the way down to that brand new one that you're mentoring and bringing along. That mixture, that mosaic creates an environment that actually allows us to reach all the kids. There's some kids that do think I'm still cool. They do. I don't know why. But there's a lot that go, that dude's really old. I want to talk to this guy, right? And you have to have that blending. So know that, right? We're going to be deliberate about having young teachers on our campus, but we don't just set them adrift, right? They're young teachers, and we're going to be mentoring them, guiding them, and training them to do what we need them to do.
Yeah.
Faculty Tuition Reimbursement Program. I launched this 2 years ago. We've had 4 people go through it. I take a little portion of the budget, set it aside. Any teacher that pursues an advanced degree, we reimburse up to, well, we've done actually up to 100%, but the way it's written, we reimburse up to 60% of the tuition for them to go get an advanced degree. Once we do that, they have to stay with us for 5 years. And we prorate that down. So if they leave before 5 years, they got to give me money back, right? The closer they get to 5 years, the less they pay me. But once they get the degree, 5 years to pay it off. It's been a great program. It's helped us. Susie Eitzel got her master's degree with that program, right? What a great person to invest in. Got a master's degree in gifted education. That's just going to serve us as a school. We also have the right to tell them, no, you cannot get a master's degree in floral design. That may be wonderful, but it's not going to help us. So we will direct them as to what we want and where you can go. But this is a program we're just encouraging them to continue to grow. Part of that is also tied back to concurrent enrollment. We would need more people with master's degrees. So we're going to help them get there. Salary increases and benefits. I told you earlier, salary is not what keeps teachers here. It truly isn't in education. Every study will show you that it's true anywhere, right? Bonuses have a very short-term effect on people's morale. That's not what changes your culture. But it's still important, right? They need to be able to come here and not be worrying about whether they have food on their table. And so we have committed to increasing salaries, and we are on track to get where we want to be in 5 years, which was increasing salaries. I don't have the number in my head. It was, we're trying to get our starting salary at $48,000. And that means moving everybody on the pay scale that amount, right? And it is, I want to say it's a 5% above COLA shift, something along those lines. And we're just trying to make giant strides to move our teacher salary up where it is a living wage. And I apologize, I didn't have the numbers memorized. This was year one of that project, and we were able to hit most of that this year. A large portion of it was done through the Joan Moxon Fund, which is a fund that is used to augment teacher salaries. So even though we didn't raise tuition enough to do what we're doing, we're pulling it in from other places that we then move our budget to catch up to it as time goes on. So benefits, just so you know, beyond the tuition reimbursement, we offer our teachers full benefits. We pay 100% for healthcare insurance for the teachers. They contribute if they have their spouse. That's really unheard of within private Christian schools. And it's something we're continued to commit to try to retain great teachers. All right, last one was communications. This is just a reminder. John, we're gonna have to fly, brother, after this one.
That's fine.
This is just a reminder of all the ways we already try to communicate with you, okay? We use email. We have newsletters that go out. There's several of them. We've got the Times, we've got the Falcon Flyer, there's other newsletters come out. We send out some that are updates, some that are invitations. There's handouts on the elementary in the folders. We will send out information about emergency notifications and weather closures and phone. You will see posters and banners all over campus. So when you walk around, actually look, because sometimes there's important information there. We have slides on the monitors. So when you see all the televisions, if you're in there having a cup of coffee, take a chance to look at it because there's announcements on there that are important for you. Social media, you should have seen a huge uptick of our use of social media over the last year. We're going to be committed to that even more deeply. So if you're not connected with us on InstaFace, PageGram, whatever those are, get on all those things, all right? I'm on this many social media. So, yeah, you can search for me, but you won't, well, you may find David Cooper, but it won't be this one. But those of you that are and live in that world, we're deepening our connection there. And then our website will continue to have some information, but we are telling you tonight about launching of a brand new methodology communicating with you guys that we think is going to be incredibly powerful because we built and are ready to launch our own FRCS app, right?
Yes, sir.
And I did the beta testing on this, which is a ridiculous thing to have me do. But they had me do it. And I went through it and found things and tried to break it, and they've tried to perfect it. Right now, the app has been submitted to both the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, and they've come back and said, no, not yet, you gotta fix this. They were supposed to approve it 2 days ago.
Yep.
And it hasn't happened yet. It will be available on both those platforms, and we were expecting it to be ready tonight, but they have thrown a fly in our ointment. But we are still gonna tell about it tonight. So John, come up here and tell them all about the Falcon.
Everyone give Cooper a hand, man. Do you have that clicker? Let me borrow the clicker. Thank you for that.
Down there.
All right. Is there one? All right. My name is John DeYoung, and if I have not met you yet, come and find me afterwards. I'd like to get to know you. I was shaking some hands as people were entering. I am the Director of Marketing and Director of Generosity here at Front Range. I have known Mr. Cooper since 2010, and I have followed him, not on social media, but I have followed him, and I love his heart and what he has done here at Front Range. One of the things I please want you to take away, the takeaway tonight, I hope you see that we are transparent and we want to partner with you. We want to get to know you. We want to hear from you so that we can do things better along the way. And what we want to do is also, as we get to know you, sort of eliminate the narrative that just keeps going in your head if you don't know something. If you have a question, come ask us. Ask Mr. Cooper, ask Ms. Candace, whoever is close to you or you have a relationship with, ask that question. If they don't know the answer, I hope they'll go find the answer. But we want to have that relationship with you. And this is another way of having that relationship with you is the new Falcon app. This app will be released as soon as Apple and as Google Play allows us to put it up there, and then we will send out a communication through DJ Turner, our communications director. We will give you a QR code. You'll be able to download the app and you'll see all of its features. This is phase 1. We do expect it to go 3 phases, and by the end of the year, we will have a very, very robust app specifically designed for the community of Front Range.